Life and Living is made up of real-life stories from very real people, whose identities and circumstances have been concealed. These testimonies were shared in order to inspire others to seek prompt solutions to their fertility issues.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Life and Living series presents First Cut is the Deepest. Hey, Binavo darling. Guess who I met at work today? Ibinabo, what is the matter again?
You're asking me? Listen. Just listen.
I can't hear anything.
Of course there is no sound. Do you know how depressing it is? Living in such an empty, silent house. All the neighbors have children, screaming and playing about the whole place. But all I have to keep myself company with is the TV.
Calm down, darling. Please. Let us keep believing.
No, Tamu, no. We can't keep on like this. It's been 4 years. 4 good years of waiting and waiting.
I know, darling. I know, Ibinabo, but challenges are a part of life.
I'm tired of your sermons. Did my friends have to listen to this sermon before they had their children? Tara, Rukewe, and even Rita all have their third kids by now.
Don't compare yourself with your friends. Look, do you know what they are going through too? Besides, darling, do you know if a child can even come tonight?
Yeah, right.
Are you doubting my abilities?
Tamuno.
No.
What are you doing? Put me down, Joe. Put me down.
Didn't you say you want a child tonight?
Tamuno. Who did you say you met at work today?
My friend, that is not important. Honey, I'm home.
Oh, darling. I've been waiting for you to get back.
What is wrong again, Ibinabo?
I've got news for you. Guess what?
You won ₦1 million.
Better than that. Tamuno, I'm pregnant.
You are what? Pregnant?
Yes.
Praise God. Thank you, Lord.
Yes, I took a pregnancy test.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, Tamuno, you're the best husband a woman could ever wish for.
Oh.
Now, we have so many things to plan.
Yes, so.
We have to convert the guest room into a nursery.
Okay, one.
I have to call the builders.
Yes.
I'm putting it on Facebook, Twitter, BB, the mail.
Bye, Binabo. Take it easy.
Take what's easy. After 4 years? No way.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Ibinabo, what are you doing up so early? It's 3 a.m.
I've been feeling this pain around my pelvis.
When did it start?
It started yesterday, but I thought it would go away.
So why didn't you go to the hospital?
If I had gone, they would have made me register for antenatal, and that would have taken too long. You know, I was expecting the builders to come to convert the guest room to the baby's room.
Oh, Ibinabo.
Don't worry. I'll go tomorrow. The pain only got worse after we went to bed.
Maybe we should just go now.
At 3 a.m.?
Yes.
What's the rush? We'll go in the morning. Go to bed. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Mrs. Briggs, why haven't you come to the clinic all this while?
I'm so sorry, doctor. I've just been so busy preparing for the baby.
But your health is more important. So, tell me more about this pain.
Well, it's more to my left side around my pelvis. It hurts when I pee, and I didn't tell my husband about this. But I also see some blood.
How much bleeding?
A bit, just like a period, but...
We're going to have to run some tests.
Test? Is there something wrong?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Briggs, but if my suspicions are correct, there might be some complications.
What do you mean?
We might have to admit you, because we suspect that you might have an ectopic pregnancy.
Ectopic pregnancy? What does that mean?
It means that the pregnancy may have occurred outside your womb. In that case, your life may be in danger.
What? Then what about my baby?
I think we should focus more on you. Nurse, please prepare a bed for Mrs. Briggs and contact her husband immediately.
And that was how I lost my first pregnancy. It was a painful experience, but I moved on quickly, and heaven smiled on me in response. Within a few months again, I was pregnant. This time, I didn't want to spare anything. I wanted to be the best mother ever. Hello? Hello?
Madam Ibinabo, Nami the carpenter.
Ah, okay. Where are you?
Madam, I don't reach your house. I take it.
Oh, okay. Just hold on. I'm driving, but I will meet you in 10 minutes.
Hello? Madam, hello?
Hey, what happened? What thing happen to this woman? Hey, now. Hey.
I beg, me can't go hospital. I beg. Cut taxi.
Can't seem be this one, eh?
What's the problem?
Oh.
Someone please get a taxi.
Where's my wife? Doctor, is she okay?
Thankfully, she is fine. It was a minor accident.
Thank God. And the doctor and the baby?
Well,
what now, doctor? What?
Well, it had nothing to do with the accident. We discovered she had an ectopic pregnancy.
Another ectopic pregnancy? Oh my goodness. How? I don't... This is just too much.
An accident. 2 ectopic pregnancies. Years of my life gone by, and I'm back to square one. God, this is so frustrating. How will I ever become a mother?
Hey, don't even start thinking that way, dear. Look, if you got pregnant once, you can get pregnant again.
It's so easy for you to say. Since you're not the one carrying the pregnancy, you're not the one with the damaged fallopian tubes, you're not the one people make fun of.
Look, stop it, Ibinabo.
What do you want me to do? I was just trying to be a good mother.
And you will be. Don't you think we should consider IVF?
In vitro fertilization?
Yes.
Has it come to that?
I'm just listing all our options.
Well, me, I want to have my baby normally,
And what is abnormal about IVF? Oh, come on, Ibinabo. Look, they are just going to take the egg out of you and fertilize it with my sperm. Once they are successful, the egg goes back in your womb and you can return to being the good mother you want to be.
Tamuno, I am scared.
Don't worry, Binabo. Everything is going to be all right. While I was at that hospital, the doctor referred us to an excellent fertility clinic. He says they are Nigeria's best.
God, I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Ibinabo, what is wrong? Ibinabo, talk to me.
God, it hurts so bad.
It hurts where?
My stomach. So thirsty.
Water? Okay, wait. Let me get you water. Here you go.
Thank you.
How do you feel now?
A little better. But I feel so bloated. I haven't been able to pee all day.
Let's go to the hospital. Can you get up?
Oh, okay, I can. Yes, I...
Ibinabo! Oh, Father, help me, please. Ibinabo! Hello? Doctor, this is an emergency. Doctor! I demand to know what is going on with my wife right now!
Calm down, Mr. Briggs.
Don't tell me to calm down! Just tell me what you have done to my wife!
We haven't done anything to your wife, Mr. Briggs. She's simply suffering from the side effects from the medications used to stimulate her ovaries. It is called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, or OHSS.
Not again. What is going to happen to my wife?
She is going to be just fine, sir. We will admit her, set a drip up for her, and drain the fluid that has accumulated in her body.
Are you sure she's going to be okay?
Yes, Mr. Briggs. And it is very important that you are calm. She needs all your support and encouragement right now.
Doctor, I hope this kind of thing will never happen again.
That is why we will be monitoring her closely to prevent a recurrence so she can move on to the next stage of the IVF treatment.
Ibinabo, please.
No way. Never again.
But the doctor assured us...
I don't care what the doctor says. I'm not continuing with this IVF thing. I've had enough.
Calm down. The OHSS was a rare side effect.
It doesn't mean it cannot happen again.
Please, darling, consider all that we stand to gain.
Oh. And what about what I can lose in the process? I can lose my life.
I won't allow anything bad happen to you, Ibinabo.
How? Are you God?
Tamuno, my son, why is it taking people so long to give me grandchildren? Or is it that this woman has bewitched you or what?
Mama, if a man loving his wife is being bewitched, then I am bewitched.
Tamuno, is it me you are talking to like that?
I'm sorry, Mama, but I don't understand what you want from me.
I want grandchildren!
And you want children too! Mama, you are being selfish.
Tamuno, me, selfish!
Ibinabo is reacting badly to the treatment. Mama, just let her be. Please, at the right time, God will give us children.
Tamuno, I did not carry you in my bosom for you to turn out like this. You better give me a grandchild if you know what is good for you.
Mama.
What is it?
I will ask the driver to take you to the park.
Tamuno, you are telling me your mother to leave your house?
If you expect me to be unfaithful to my wife, you leave me with no choice.
Tamuno, Tamuno, I will go, but you will hear from me.
Tamuno.
Ibinabo, I thought you were asleep.
I overheard all your discussions with Mama. I'm so sorry you had to fight her because of me.
She was out of line. No one ever told my father to cheat on her. She has no right to tell me that.
I truly don't deserve you.
I know.
Go, Joe. You're not serious.
But seriously though, I will not let anything stand in the way of our happiness, okay? Not even children.
Tamuno.
Yes?
I'll continue with the IVF treatment.
Hey, you don't have to.
No, it's not because of your mother. If you can make sacrifices for me, then I can do the same.
Ibinabo, are you sure?
I'm very sure about that. Junior! Come here, Joe.
Sweetheart, is everything all right in here?
Oh, Tamuno, you're back. Sorry, this whole place is a mess. Junior has been making me jump from place to place all day. He messed himself up, kept spitting out his food, and then I slipped over some of the food he threw up and broke my favorite Pyrex dish.
You poor thing, I'm so sorry. I'm still trying to find the house help, but they are so hard to get nowadays.
It's okay, it's alright. I can manage. I just wish I could get some sleep, you know.
Yeah. Remember there was a time in this house when there wasn't all this stress and it was all nice and quiet.
No way. Give me all the chaos now, I beg. I never want to go back to an empty, quiet house. Come here, Junior. You want to break another plate? Go ahead.
Welcome back and thank you for tuning in to Life and Living. I'm Dr. Pamela, and joining us today on the interview segment is Nigeria's leading voice on fertility issues, Dr. Richard Ajayi of the Bridge Clinic. Dr. Ajayi, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Ajayi, during the first cut is the deepest, it was really unfortunate that Ibinabo went through so much. She had the first ectopic pregnancy, then the second one after an accident. Now, that was a bit confusing. Was there any relationship between the ectopic pregnancy and the accident?
No, I don't think there's a relationship between the ectopic pregnancy and the accident. But the fact that she had 2 ectopic pregnancies is not unusual because we have 2 fallopian tubes on either side of the uterus. But in practical terms, they're really one tube connecting through the uterus. So whatever affects one tube tends to affect the other one. So even though you may have an ectopic in one tube and you remove it, the other tube also will be damaged and the risk of having another ectopic in the second tube is there. So it's not unusual to have 2 ectopic pregnancies and have both tubes removed.
Now, the only treatment for ectopic pregnancies on both sides and the tubes being removed, according to the story, is IVF. Is that true?
Well, I think nowadays there's talk, especially with the advent of laparoscopic surgery, that we should try and conserve the fallopian tubes in managing ectopic pregnancy. This can be done if the ectopic pregnancy is diagnosed early, in which case you can try and save the fallopian tube. But then, this requires skill, and this technology is not widely available in Nigeria. So most ectopic pregnancies here are still managed by salpingectomy, which is to remove the fallopian tubes. So once your fallopian tubes are removed, then the only way that you can achieve a pregnancy is by IVF, where the eggs and the sperm are allowed to meet out of the body.
And that's because the egg and the sperm normally meet within the tube.
The egg and the sperm normally meet within the tube, and if the tubes are not there, there's no way that they can meet.
I mean, that was quite devastating for her. But she came over it and she went for the treatment. And she developed something called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, OHSS. Now, can you explain what that is?
OHSS is a potentially life-threatening complication of IVF. Women with what we call polycystic ovaries are more at risk. Thin women are also more at risk. And basically, these kind of ovaries are difficult to control. So when you start to stimulate, the average ovary has what I call a linear response. So the more drugs you give, the more eggs you give. But polycystic ovaries have, it's almost like an exponential response that you give the stimulation up onto a certain threshold, nothing happens. Then beyond that threshold, everything happens and they produce a lot of eggs. Now, this is good when you produce a lot of eggs. That increases your chances of getting pregnant with IVF. But the downside is that the ovaries become swollen. They can fill the whole abdomen. The woman woman starts to produce what we call ascites, fluid within the tummy. So she has abdominal pain, breathing may be difficult, and sometimes the abdomen is so swollen that she can't swallow, in which case she would need to be admitted for intravenous fluids, and sometimes we have to put a drain in the tummy to get the fluid out. Complicates about 3% of IVF treatment cycles, but the good news is that in a good clinic with the right facilities, it is not a problem. We know that some women will get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, and we know how to manage it.
Wow. The program you're listening to is Life and Living, and our fertility expert today is Dr. Richard Ajayi of the Bridge Clinic. When we return, we will be addressing more issues. So don't touch that dial.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you are listening to Life and Living, the radio series on fertility care. Dr. Richard Ajayi of the Bridge Clinic has been our guest and will be offering us his professional advice on today's topic. Now, she refused to continue with the treatment cycle. Is that something that women commonly do once they have the ovarian hyperstimulation?
Well, it's normal. It's a normal response, not even just for the ovarian hyperstimulation, even if the treatment doesn't work. Because you've been through a very tough process. You've spent a lot of money. You've had a lot of physical and emotional, financial investment in a process that has let you down. And when you get ovarian hyperstimulation, it has not only let you down, it's also giving you a very, frightening experience. And so the feeling is, let me just forget about this. I mean, I'm not in this world just to have a baby. At least I'm alive. Let me get on with my life. And so it's not unusual to want to walk away. But then the longer you walk away, then the sooner the feelings of wanting a child comes back, and then you have to weigh everything up, and most people will come back after a while.
Now, are there any advantages to having this ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome for anyone?
Well, there are no advantages. It's better not to have it, but it's very difficult to prevent in some people, where you're not going to get eggs unless you get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. And if that's the case, then it's a price we have to pay for a pregnancy, because we can also prevent it. So there are times when we know that a patient is at risk. The condition gets worse when you put the embryos back and she gets pregnant. So what we sometimes do is we collect the eggs, we fertilize the eggs, and then we cryopreserve or freeze all the eggs, so that when the ovarian hyperstimulation settles down, she comes back and have a frozen embryo transfer. And like I said earlier, with vitrification, pregnancy rates with frozen embryos are as good as with fresh embryos. And so that's a good way of preventing severe ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome from occurring.
Okay, so we can be managed.
It can be managed, absolutely.
And a woman can successfully achieve a pregnancy even though she has that syndrome.
Oh, definitely.
So you would advise women who have that not to be discouraged, but to actually come back again?
Oh, they should come back again, yeah, definitely. But like I said, you need to be in the right place, because it is a potentially life-threatening condition if it's not managed properly. So you need to be in a clinic that has the experience and knows how to manage it.
Now, if you've had it once, does that mean you'll have it again for all the subsequent cycles?
Women who've had ovarian hyperstimulation usually have a risk factor that increases their propensity to develop this condition. Now, that risk factor does not disappear in subsequent cycles, so that risk,
it's still there.
It persists. Yeah, so most women who get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome tend to get it in subsequent cycles.
But if you know how to manage it, you can then minimize it because you're expecting it, or how does that go?
Well, yes, of course, we can. There's a lot of things that we know. Our role is, when we know someone is at risk, we try and manage it, we try and prevent it, but there are times when you just can't, and you have to just accept that risk.
Well, fortunately, she ended up with the child that she was looking for. So I guess all's well that ends well.
All's well that ends well, yes. I mean, that's the nature of IVF. I mean, IVF is a great tool. It works, but it's a tough process. And the important point is to focus on the finishing line, because without that, it is very easy to get distracted. You go through a process that doesn't work. You get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Sometimes you need to think about using donor eggs. So it's a long process. But if you focus on the finishing line, that this is what I want. So I say, when you start IVF, you need to look at it as a project. And once you see that way, it will always come through in the end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you'd like to get in touch with the doctor, you can send an email to doctor, which is doctor, at thebridgeclinic.com, or text fertility Lagos to 20050. Thank you, and stay tuned at the same time on the same station next week.
Choose wellness. Choose health and vitality. Know your numbers.
This is a corporate social responsibility message from Pathcare, Nigeria's foremost pathology laboratory.
Life and Living series is produced by Verdant Zeal for Doctors on Air.